Okay, so which is the graph of the given function? And we have f of t equals 3 times cosine negative t. Well, let's start with a little discussion of what the parent function looks like. Let's just talk about the graph of cosine t. Alright, the cosine function looks like this. Okay, if this is 1, and this would be negative 1, and this is pi, and this is 2 pi. Cosine begins at its highest value, and then it falls to its lowest value, and then it ends back at its highest value again. Now, if I put a negative sign inside the function right here, that is a reflection over the y-axis. But the thing is, the cosine function is already symmetric around the y-axis. In other words, if I just kept on drawing this graph, let's say if I drew another period of the cosine function, if I just kept going, it would look like this. Okay, so there's 2 periods. Kind of makes like a W shape. If I reflected this over the y-axis, it won't look any different because it's already symmetric about the y-axis. Alright, it's a mirror image on either side, so a reflection won't change anything. So really, what I'm saying is you can ignore that negative sign. That's not doing anything. So basically, we're looking for this function. Okay, it should look exactly like this, except for the 3. Putting a 3 right here is simply going to cause the amplitude to be 3. So instead of going up to 1 and down to negative 1, we should expect it to go up to 3 and down to negative 3. But it should look just like this. Okay, so look at this graph right here. It does make that W shape we were just talking about, so it looks pretty good. It does go up to 3 and down to negative 3, so that looks pretty good, except for one thing. The period of the cosine function is 2 pi, so one cycle of the cosine function should go and stretch all the way out to 2 pi. But this function ends at pi. So that was very close, but not quite. So we're looking for this same thing, but it should end at 2 pi instead of pi. Okay, so that's not even close. Oh, and we have this little choice for none of these. Okay, now look at this answer though. We have 2 full periods of the cosine function here. This picture is kind of zoomed in around one picture of the one cycle of the cosine function. So this is still a possibility. So see how the middle of this graph is right on the y-axis? So what if we are looking at just this portion of the cosine function, just this one cycle from negative pi to positive pi? Would that match? Alright, well that would be exactly what we see right here. Okay, they're just starting at negative pi and going to positive pi. So that problem was very tricky because they kept changing the period on us and sort of zooming in, and they didn't use the normal portion of the graph that we're used to. They used this portion over here. So don't be fooled. This will be the answer.